Sometimes you just have that excellent script that Nicolas Cage will finally say yes to, and then Lionsgate steps up and the deal is done.
Is there anything that you have out there, whether it's courses, books, ways that people connect? Is there a way that you kind of open channels for people to kind of connect with you right now, or do you kind of want to be careful
They
about
can
that?
I have never hidden my email is globaluniversal@gmail.com,
Mhm.
and the company is globaluniversal.com, www.globaluniversal.com. It's been that way for 30 years. I have the same address in LA that I've had for 30 years, 11684 Ventura Boulevard, Suite 581, Studio City, California, 91604. You write me a letter, you can send me an email, globaluniversal@gmail, or go to the website and put in what you want or look at what I've done. And
Mhm.
I don't hide. I'm open to everybody. Um, I never know which one's coming in with that one little gem that I can move, but I don't hide. I'm open to the world, but everyone has to understand just because I've made 17 movies doesn't mean that I can get the 18th one made. I try.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's easier, and sometimes not.
right. Yeah, well, that's all part of the adventure, I guess, in this business, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
yeah,
It is.
yeah.
It is. But a team today, it's really tough to do anything without a team today. Unless you just hit Keno. It's like rolling the dice at Vegas. Sometimes you just have that excellent script that Nicolas Cage will finally say yes to, and then Lionsgate steps up and the deal is done. It can still happen,
Right.
but yeah,
But and even with a good script, people need someone like you who really knows how to push on a door
gotta
get
push it.
that to get that read, right? That's the other part of it.
Look at Casey Affleck. He isn't really working. He was in Oppenheimer. I was stunned.
Mhm.
He and Remy Malek had such small roles. And then it occurred to me there are no small actors. These guys want to be a piece of something fantastic, which Oppenheimer is,
Yeah.
a piece of history. Um, and Remy is a great, I mean, gosh almighty, he's a great talent. And so is Casey Affleck. I mean, I go out on a line here. I think he's better than his brother, Ben. I really do. If you look, his work is so honest and pure, Casey. He plays a small part, Posh, in Oppenheimer, and I go like, you wouldn't even know it was him. He has no ego, Casey Affleck. There are actors out there. Guy Pearce is another one. So many colors, so many different roles he plays. Um, it would be my desire and dream to one day work with him. We've talked, but he never says don't come back.
Mhm.
He knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah. Well,
So
he's a real artist. He really wants to
he
look
is.
at the material and
Mhm.
evaluate it for itself, Yeah. I think that's
Yes.
commendable. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are some names you can jump on that will actually react to what you're giving or offering. But and there's others. Willem Dafoe is another one who's makes himself pretty available. Of course, he works all the time, so it's hard to get him.
Right.
But he has a great manager. Fattinelli is his last name. You can look him up on IMDb. I can't remember his first name. Fattinelli is his last name. And he'll talk to Willem on your behalf. But he's hardly ever available.
Yeah, and actually, I did want to throw this in before I do the wrap up on this, was
Yeah.
because we were talking a little bit about places to explore in the States now, where people are trying to form relationships in different pockets. My sense was that South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida seem to be getting a little busier on the East Coast now.
Yes.
Things going on there. I think there's a studio that recently opened in South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
and
Hmm.
but sometimes it seems like Georgia and South Carolina kind of go back and forth, and I don't know how that works, but maybe it has to do with The Walking Dead because they were shooting so much down there.
Well, yeah, they were, Georgia's always been pretty amenable. It has a couple of studios and a lot of stages there. We have a good friend that owns this big stage and studio in Atlanta.
Mhm.
We've had the privilege of going there, and the tax credits are pretty good. Of course, you have to structure the deal properly. Um, Florida, what is so great about Florida, which I love, are the people. The
Mhm.
people here are, oh, you can't afford $100 rent my house here. Just take it. Put me in a hotel room or something. It's just a different breed. I don't know much about South Carolina. I can tell you some friends of mine, did a project with Sean Patrick Flannery, and they were shut down in Mississippi. I don't know if you heard about that.
No.
This, yeah, yeah. It was an interesting court case. I don't know if they ever resolved the actual court documents or not. But there are a couple of great directors, co-writers, and directors, and they got the money to go to Mississippi, and they got the tax credits, and they started shooting with Sean Patrick Flannery, and the union came out from New York City and talked to all the unionized people in Mississippi. I'm sorry, excuse me, it's not Mississippi. Oh, please forgive me. It's Oklahoma. It was Oklahoma. Um, they talked everybody on the crew to not show up for work, to get asked for more money.
Mm.
They brought it was Kerry Solomon and Chuck Cosselman, two stellar writers and producers and directors and every meaningful. They're just great guys, and they brought them to their knees, and they were locked because they couldn't go outside of Oklahoma. They'd already banked the tax credits, so they couldn't leave, and the union wouldn't let anybody go back to work.
Mm.
And so it drove every filmmaker, me included, to say, who really has the final say? Is it the state or is it the unions?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And to this day, there's some kind of thing they sign that they're not supposed to discuss or whatever. Chuck would never tell me. I wrote to him and he said, I can't divulge the final contract. And I respect that. I understand NDAs are important, but this should never happen in a film industry ever.
Mhm.
So nobody will go to Oklahoma now
Oh
for
dear.
good cause, good reason.
Right. Yeah.
That won't happen in Georgia.
Right.
That will never happen in Georgia.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it won't happen in Florida either. Yeah.
it sounds like each state, or at least the ones that have some kind of active film industry, have a bit of a story to tell,
Mhm.
around them, and some good and some bad, obviously. But I'd love to dig into that with you
Yeah.
on
Mhm.
another occasion because I've been really curious about, just mapping out networks and networking and plugging people in together. One of the things everything's always referenced towards California, which is great. I mean, I love going out there. It's exciting, a lot of fun to meet with the number of people in the business, but it's just really interesting to hear how things are developing in some of these other states. So since we're running out of time on the clock, maybe we'll hold that
Yeah.
one for the next one. But Jackie, it's
Yeah,
been
sure.
so
Thank you.
fantastic to get to reconnect with you here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too to you. Yes, definitely. I love the business. I guess you could tell. And if there's anything you ever need or anybody, feel free to reach out. Again, am not a miracle worker. I promise nothing, but I'll always read it and see if I can move the needle in one direction or another,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, look, I can attest, despite what you said earlier about not being a nice person, I can tell everybody. Jackie is she's tough, but she's a great woman, and I've
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed dealing with you. And yeah, absolutely. I hope some people do kind of tap you on the shoulder with some good material. That's what it's all about,
Good.
finding the good material. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I
Uh,
agree.
all right.
Wonderful.
Well, thanks for joining us again, everybody. This is Sebastian MacLean, and as we're wont to say on the M2M project, fight the darkness, put truth in story, and we'll see you next time.